today we're going to just jump right into it. We're going to talk about the toxic social media influencers. And what I mean by toxic social media influencers are those influencers who have been put on a platform and are now considered social influencers and social leaders, and they use it and they abuse it. You're probably wondering, like, well, I mean, how much abuse and how much damage can you really do on social media? Well, ponder this. Social media has taken over our society. Everything is done on social media and everything is done for social media. So let that sink in. Everything is done on social media and done for social media. People get dressed just to post pictures online. We've all probably done it, some more than others. People go on trips, and some of the things that they think about is this going to be a good picture for IG? Is this going to be a great post for Facebook? Some people literally live on social media and document their everyday task, and they document their whole life. But you're thinking, okay, this is pure, this is transparency, this is people opening up and sharing, but it's not, because everyone knows about the inevitable filter of social media, where we can literally make our lives look absolutely perfect, and we could literally be living the most crappiest lives. And I want to address the leaders, because the leaders have a lot to do with the effects of that. Because the leaders are not realizing that them putting on a fake transparency cloak and pretending that they are being upfront and forthright about their lives and their lifestyles is creating a false picture and a false narrative for those who are watching and following them. They're setting up false hope. They're not telling the true story. They're not sharing the struggle. They're just sharing the glory. And of course, a lot of people don't want to share the ugly. But when you're a leader, and when you're a leader in this type of platform, you must share the good, the bad, and the ugly in order to be a healthy leader. Right now, there are a lot of toxic, sickly, poisonous leaders. I want to touch on the first leader. This is a social media influencer that is within the beauty and the fitness business. All aesthetics, looks, and things that appeal. So we can talk about the flat tummy teas, the overnight weight loss products that actually don't work, the facial creams and products and makeup products and the things that can make you go from looking like a basic normal person to all of a sudden you look as if you just walked off the runway in Milan. Let's talk about that. Because the issue with that is, and some people have brought this up, you have a lot of women who have opted out to get surgery, who then get surgery and achieve this beautiful sculpted body, and then they start a fitness page. And then they show themselves at the gym working out. They show their before pictures before they got the surgery. They never mention the surgery. So there's a lot of women who have gained weight or who are not as curvaceous, and being curvy is really like a big thing right now. Being like thick is like in. And these women, these young girls, they watch these videos and they're like, I want to be thick. I want to be curvy. I want to be in. And they'll start doing these workouts and they're not getting the results that this person that they're looking up to is getting. And the reason they're not getting it is not because they're not doing it right. It's not because they're not using the same formula. It's not because their body's not better or the genetics are messed up. It's literally because this person went and got surgery. So that's a very unhealthy thing. So now they wonder how the surgery business boosted. In my opinion, as you know, because this is not fact, but I have a sneaky little hunch that some of these plastic surgeons are paying off these social media influencers to portray these lifestyles so that they can get customers, because they know the real women are going to get frustrated and be like, oh, I should just get surgery then, because I'll never achieve that. And that's a lot of the reason why these women go and get surgery. Then we'll talk about the fast, rapid weight loss teas that people sell for hundreds of dollars, saying if you drink this tea for 14 days, you're going to lose 20 pounds. You may lose 20 pounds in water weight, but that 20 pounds is going to come right back. And that's unhealthy, to have people detoxing for a long period of time with products that they're not even sure of without, really researching it, because it's a problem. It's also a problem when they, sell the weight loss pills. Like, some of those pills are literally causing irreversible effects and side effects in people. And then we get into like the beauty portion of it. Like makeup is huge, and makeup is cool. I like makeup every now and then. I don't wear makeup every day, but when I want to wear makeup, I wear it and I like it. And I think makeup's cool and I think there's no problem with it. But women are using this now as a way to turn themselves into someone they're not and raise this unattainable standard of beauty that doesn't exist. Our skin is not naturally blurred. We have discoloration, we have craters, we have beauty marks, we have skin tags, we have blemishes, we have blackheads, etc. But they promote this unattainable beauty standard that just doesn't exist. Everyone's face isn't chiseled, but your face isn't really chiseled. You contoured your face. You beat your face to the gods and contoured it like crazy. So now a female who has an oval shaped face, who doesn't have those cuts and slits, she's wondering to herself, like, why can't I look like that baby? When she takes that makeup off, her face is more oval than yours. But that's another thing. A lot of these women won't show themselves barefaced. They'll just show the beautiful part of it. And they don't realize that people are looking at that and watching that, and they're trying to attain that, and you don't even have that. It's unattainable for you. Because when the camera's off and you're at home by yourself and you take off the lashes and everything, you don't look like that. But it's okay to put it on, but it's also, you need to be healthy about it. You need to show the before and the after. And I know that takes time for some people, because some people may have actual conditions that they're dealing with and it's hard to deal with, so they hide. But your ability to transform that condition and turn it from being something you're insecure about to being something that you're so proud of and has given you confidence is a testimony to the girls and the women that deal with that as well. And they think there's no answer, but they don't know that you literally have the formula. But you don't want to share it because of your insecurities. So it's something to think about. Facial creams and things of that nature, like women who sell products or who endorse and are brand ambassadors for products for your skin. They'll post pictures with their face heavily filtered and blurred out, and it looks like their face has no pores, their face is just perfect, and it's a lie. Their face isn't. Their face is filled with acne, filled with blemishes, filled with marks. And the product could actually be working, but they just made you feel like the product works in 3 weeks, but the product may work in 3 months. So that goes into us being a microwave generation as well. So now you're promoting that, hey, oh, you can get this instantly because I did. But you're going to do more good by showing them, this was me at week 1, this was me at week 3, this is me at week 6, this is me at week 9, like so on and so forth, and showing them true progress versus showing them that fake progress where they're like, oh my gosh, my skin's going to be terrible forever. And that could literally not be the case. So thinking about things like that, those people who do the stuff like that, they are toxic social media influencers and toxic leaders. That's very unethical to do that. There are ethics that all leaders should live by. And we as a people need to start holding these people accountable. It's not hating. It's not doing any of that. Because, yeah, their ego may be hurt for a second, but do you know how many people that are in deep, dark depressions because when they scroll on Facebook or when they scroll on Instagram and on Twitter and they see these pictures of these people that they can't attain, but it's literally all smoke and mirrors and it's fake. Imagine if they really truly knew how fake it was. And shout out to the pages that call these things out, because we won't even get into the fitness models that use BodyTune to fake and contour their body to be smaller than what it actually is. So, I mean, there's that. Another thing is the social media politicians, preachers, pastors, and religious leaders. These are the people that probably don't even actually technically have churches, technically have titles or anything. These are just people who have a camera and have followers who get on here and they preach and they teach different things. Great. You're trying to provoke thought. You're trying to, give people salvation in the religion that you believe in, the religion that you follow. But you have to be so sure that you're doing this for the right reason and not for monetary gain. And what I notice is that these people go from doing it because they just want to put a message out to doing it because now they can monetize. Now they can get a check. So every time they speak, it's about buy my service. It's about invest in this. It's about doing this. It's about doing that. What it turns into is the selling of knowledge. Knowledge should always be free. But then when you say that, you get a great debate of how people say, well, I had to work to get this information. Everyone else should. But that's the most flawed mindset, in my opinion, because think about it like this. You had to work so hard and you wasted about 10 years to gather all that information that now you can give to the next generation or the next person and help them avoid that pain that you had to go through and be able to get to it easier because you carved the way. But your ego doesn't want you to do that because you want to play their God. You have a God complex now because you achieved that goal that you want to go, nah, they need to experience that. It's character building. Let God choose who and how he wants to build people's character. That's not up to you. Because the greats before us who paved the way for us to be where we are today didn't have that mindset. They put the hard work in so it would be easier for the next one, for the next generation and the next one. I always hated the saying that said, everyone needs to learn from their mistakes. Let them learn from their mistakes. You know, they'll watch a kid literally do something terrible because they want them to learn from their mistakes versus just telling them. So then it created a mindset of people go, well, I'll just learn for myself. I'll just learn for myself. Okay. No, that's foolish. Why would I do that? Why would I just want to learn for myself if I can literally look over there and see someone who went through the same thing that I went through and I can watch how they did it and avoid all the missteps that they did and do it right the first time? That's not going to take away from my character. That's not going to make me less humble because I knew where I got the information from. So I know where I got to look back to. I know where I came from. I know who carved that path. I know who did it first. It just makes me work smarter, not harder. That's where that statement comes from. But these people, they sell you this knowledge that they literally, some of them even got this knowledge for free, but now they put a price tag on it. Think about that. And then they get mad when you don't want to support it. I'm not going to pay you for knowledge that you should not be selling. I personally believe that knowledge should be free. If I had it my way, universities and schools should be free. The government wants to pay for a lot of other things and put money in other things. I think they should be pouring money into education. But because they're selling that knowledge, guess what? Everybody, when they graduate schools, graduates into becoming a debt slave. You now have debt that you owe that you must pay before you close your eyes. If you don't pay it, the people you leave behind on this earth will darn sure pay it. So you see the cycle, the ugly cycle that you get into. So now people have gotten knowledge to help people get out of poverty, help people grow spiritually, help people break generational curses and do all of those things. They're not sharing that information. Why? Oh, because you got to pay. So guess what? Most of the people who need that information don't have the money to pay for it. They just don't. So guess what? You're not helping anyone. So at the end of the day, when you have to go, well, I did a good deed, you did not. You were all about profit. And yes, we need to make money, but there's other creative ways to make money. Matter of fact, you would probably make more money if you didn't sell the knowledge that you had. Because you would have to think outside of the box and stop trying to monetize basic stuff, right? And be able to find a way to make money on the long-term way. But that's not going to happen because look at what you're doing. And that goes for all those people who do that. And then the other portion of that is not just the selling of knowledge, is now when you put yourself up as a spiritual leader of any kind or as a wise leader or a political leader, you have to walk and talk and live that life all the time. So not like the fitness influencers and those people where they have to show full transparency. You actually have to appear blameless. When you talk that talk and walk that walk, you got to appear blameless. So you can't be 1 minute talking about this and the next minute talking about this and the next minute talking about that and boom, boom, boom and blowing and flowing with the wind. You got to stay true to who you are and be in it. And then when you do mess up publicly, that pride and that ego that you got, that needs to go out the window, because now you need to come up and you need to stand up in front of all those people that followed you and be like, I'm human. I messed up. That's another form of ethics that these toxic social media influencers, these toxic leaders on social media do not have. You do not have it. It just doesn't exist. But it needs to start existing. And there are some out there that have it, and I love watching them. And then the last one I want to talk about is the bragger and the boaster. You guys contribute to the amount of depression and anxiety and shame and guilt that people experience when they scroll online, because all you do online on your platform is brag and boast. Brag and boast. You brag about all the things you have. Celebrate yourself. But there's a difference between celebrating yourself, celebrating your wins and being appreciative and humble, and bragging and boasting. And a lot of them have a way where they do it. There's this couple, I'm not going to name any names, but there's this couple that's very successful. But the couple didn't come from nothing. They came from something which helped them get their success. But the way that they brag and boast about this success under the guise of trying to inspire other people, it's so disgusting, because it's like you realize that anybody with common sense, they know what you're doing. They know exactly what you're doing. One of them had a nerve to say, God's not blessing you if you're broke. And I grew up in a church that used to say something like that. And I was just like, that don't make sense. Because like the way God chooses to build your character may be different. Mine may be that I had to grow up poor and had to grow up broke and had to attain money at a later time, versus someone who may have had it early on and then lost it and had to reattain it. You see? But for you to make a blanket statement and put that online for millions of people to freaking see, that could lead somebody to and it might sound crazy, but it can lead somebody to just end their life. Because you just told them that they're not being blessed because they're broke, and they could have been praying for blessings, and now they feel like, well, God's not blessing me anyway. I'm broke. I have nothing to live for. That's irresponsible. Like, I post things. I'm nowhere near a social media influencer, but because I know I have eyes, there's certain things I post and certain things I don't post because it's irresponsible. Like, I'm going to joke around. I'm going to post jokes all the time. I'm going to post some serious things. I'm going to post my black stuff on there because that's what I'm about in real life, 365, not just online. But I'm also not going to post things that are dangerous, that are toxic, that are crazy, that can literally send somebody over the edge. And I come across stuff that I agree with all the time. But when I think about it, I'm like, I'll think about my followers. I'll think about people who watch my story. I'll think about people who click on my page. I'll think about all that stuff before I post it. I don't post nudity and half nakedness on my page for those very reasons, because how it's going to look, how I'm trying to portray myself, the influence I'm trying to have on my younger cousins and women, and how I'm not trying to be out here just making, like, having men just lust after my pictures and stuff because I just want to have my body out. Also, I have a daughter, and everything we do online comes back. Everything we post publicly comes back. And I don't want my daughter to be like, ooh, mom, ooh, you was bent over on the bed, like, because she's going to grow up to be a young woman and she's going to look at me as an example as well. So, and my sons, I don't want them looking for girls that do that. That's my daughter in the background, by the way, because life isn't perfect, so you may hear children. But it's just what it is. So I wanted to talk about this, and I talked about this one very passionately, so it's a different tone than my other two episodes. So I guess, you know what, this is my soapbox persona. This is when I'm on my soapbox. But I talked about this passionately because this is very important and it needs to be addressed. And it has been, but it needs to continue to be addressed. So I want you to ponder, if you're a social media influencer and you hear this, ponder, are you doing any of those things? And should you stop? And then ponder how you can stop and turn a leaf. Because every day is a new day for change and growth. Secondly, I want you to ponder, if you're not an influencer or a leader, ponder the ones that you watch. Think about your mental state. Think about how you feel when you see their page. Think about how you feel when you see their posts. If you don't feel good, if you don't feel inspired, if you don't feel motivated, if they don't make you feel better about yourself, or if they don't push you to grow in a healthy speed, in a healthy method, unfollow them. I had to purge my page several times. I purge my page every now and then when I start to see my mind going somewhere else, when my thoughts are like clouded and flooded with something that's not good for me, not good for my well-being, not good for my spirit. I literally will now go down my list of who I follow, and I will start clicking unfollow, because it's not doing well for me. If I keep seeing someone's page and their posts are vexing me, I'll unfollow them. Or if I don't want to be rude, I want to give them my support as a follower, then I'll mute their page. Sometimes you just got to mute them, because it could be family. It could be friends. Sometimes you got to hit that mute button. But that's a different topic. We're going to talk about a healthy use of social media. Well, on this, we're going to stay on topic, and we're going to address the toxic traits and the toxic behaviors of social media influencers and leaders. Stop it. Reevaluate yourself. Ponder that. Okay? Everyone, say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Ponder that. It's been great again. Amazing speaking with you all. I really, really enjoy this. I hope you guys get a lot from this. And yeah, peace.